Good morning, Bryte Church. It's a pleasure to be preaching to you again with a devotion. Today I wanted to read from Romans 8, verse 18. For I consider the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that is to be revealed to us. For the anxious longing of the creation waits eagerly for the revealing of the sons of God. For the creation was subjected to futility, not willingly, but because of him who subjected it, in hope that creation itself also will be set free from its slavery to corruption into the freedom of the glory of the children of God. You know, we used to take family trips to visit cousins up in Oregon, and I always looked forward to that trip. It was kind of the highlight of the year for me. And I remember one time coming back from a trip, standing in front of the bathroom mirror, brushing my teeth, thinking to myself, wait, that was a week ago that I was right in this same place. Did that time really pass so quickly? Did it pass so almost unknowingly to me? And since that time, I actually made that process something purposeful that I do. Before a big trip or before a big project, I'll kind of take a moment to look around and try to take in as much of what is surrounding me as I can. Just to remind myself when this thing is over that I can come back to this time and say, wow, this passed so quickly, before going on a trip or starting a remodel. And actually in this season, we had a big remodel that we were doing. And I told my wife before we started, I said, look, we're going to be back here in a week or two in the same spot, sitting on the same couch. And I want you to remember this moment because everything will have passed, all the trouble, all the worry, all the tiredness, and we'll be done. And sure enough, just a few days ago, we were sitting on the couch and she reminded me. She said, don't you remember you told me that? And I said, yeah, you're right. Everything is over. Those long and stressful weeks are done. The goal has been reached. The difficulties were worth the end result. Now, comparing a remodel to waiting for heaven almost seems sacrilege. But the passage is talking about us preparing for something in the future, not being mindful of what is around us and focusing and worrying about it, but rather being in a different place, being in a different mindset. And I'm not talking about just the pandemic once that's over. I'm not even talking about the next week or month or even decade if God wills for us to live that long. I'm talking about your entire life. When you come to the very end and you're right on the doorstep of eternity, you're ready to meet your Creator, what will you think about? Will you think about all of the things that passed, or will you say, oh, how is this moment unique because I was always waiting for it? How is this moment unique because all the things that came before it, all the trouble is now past? How would our life look like if we had that kind of outlook? If we looked at time in that way? If you think that the time on earth is going to be the highlight of your existence, well, then you want to savor every moment. It's like that family trip. You want to savor every moment of that week so that once it concludes, you can say, wow, that was a really good ride. If, however, your expectation is like the remodel, where you're waiting for the moment when you're going to be done, when there's going to be periods of difficulty, and you're just saying, I just want to get through this, then your expectation of the future is different. Your frustrations, your temptations, your struggles, all of those things pale when you're expecting the end. And Romans is calling us to take that second way of thinking about life. Take that second way of considering all that it entails. We are waiting for something better than the futility of life that disguises itself as glory. And Romans reminds us that the futility of all the stuff that's going on, all of it is pointless in light of where we're going. I'd like to think that, God willing, if we get to an old age, I will be closer to seeing my Savior, and I'll pause and consider what my life has been up to this point. And I'll say all of those troubles, all of those struggles, they are now done. And it was worth it. Every single thing. I want you to think about that way and that outlook on life, where you live with the expectation of the end. You live with the expectation of the goal in mind. How will your day, how will your month, how will your life change when you think like that? Take care. God bless. I'll see you on the other side.